Sometimes I like to state the obvious, but clearly, at least for me, the obvious seems to be the stuff that is so easily ignored because they're looking for something deeper. It's amazing how we quest and we quest and we quest when it's always right in front of our face. And the thing that I wanted to tell you about right now, I'm 47, I turned 47 yesterday. And I was thinking as I'm walking to work about the past ventures of the mind. You know, those of us who have a creative bent, a desire to make something out of what's up here and create some form, you know, the art or music or thoughts or words or whatever the heck it may be. One of the things that we struggle with is the inspiration and the motivation and the energy to do it. And the thing I was thinking about right now was how we have something at any particular moment in our life, whether we be you know, newly awakened in terms of our creativity at a very young age, you know, as a child or a teenager or a young adult in their 20s, or whether we're like me, you know, middle age and getting a little tired and a little worn out and a little, you know, a little bit jaded in our view in some ways, or whether we get to be a senior and we're looking back with all the experience and all of the baggage, you know, all the weight that comes from all those experiences in many ways, which changes our view. Whatever the case may be, from all of these vistas, it's like riding on a train and looking out, to use a simple analogy, it's like riding on a train and looking out the window. And if we're going to be creative from that vantage point, we're going to often be building from what we see as we're looking out the window. And as the landscape is changing, the opportunities are coming and going, unless we've got an incredible ability to put our minds back in a previous frame of thinking, which is almost impossible to do in many ways, because even when you try to do that, you're looking at it as an observer of something from the past and not actually experiencing it firsthand. So what I'm trying to say in this is, if you're a creatively minded person and you have some inspiration, but you feel weighted down by the factors that sometimes bind us, that keep us from doing things, you know, procrastination, fatigue, whatever the heck, and you decide, well, I'll wait till tomorrow. What you will create tomorrow will not be what you could have created today. It's just by definition of the fact that we're changing and evolving on a continuous basis, evolving up here in terms of the way the experiences that are coming on board and the changes that occur. You will not have that same perspective. Just to give you a simple example for myself, you know, in my 20s, I was the most optimistic, upbeat. I still am. I mean, if you think I'm very optimistic now, you should have seen me then. Wow. You know, I mean, really optimistic, upbeat, and in many ways filled with the cliches of a glass completely full. And I wrote a lot of poetry back then and did a lot of art, and this stuff is just billowing over with this incredible, you know, colored view. I did everything in crayons back then because they had a vibrancy to them that I just loved, and the words that I wrote were full of adjectives that were so colorful as well. And you know, I'm 47 now, and I look back and I thought, you know, I couldn't do that again. You know, I'm beaten, I'm bruised, and I'm battered, and you know, fought physically and mentally as well, and I'm still an optimistic person, nothing like I was then. And I'm glad that I, you know, extruded that out of me at the time and got it out, not as nearly as much as I wish I had. I wish I had been more creative. I guess we all do in some ways if you're interested in creativity, but I'm glad I got that out when I did, because if I had waited till now, I couldn't do it. It would be a completely different thing. Now, that doesn't mean that what I would create now would be any less valuable, assuming this stuff's any valuable at all, which it may or may not be. But if you have an inclination, go for it. And well, what I should say is that's a simple and obvious statement. If you have an inclination, go for it. What I really want to say is, if you wait, the opportunity will most likely pass. And what you create at a later time, what you create tomorrow, will most likely not be anything like what you could have created yesterday. So as the seasons come and go, and as the progression moves, like this bullet train flying past there, can you see it up there? so do our opportunities. I'm going to head on over to work now and try to do my best to create what I need to create today, and maybe find a little inspiration to make something that might last. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.